KCC311. For week number 5 homework, we're going to need to use the SUMIF formula in Excel or Google Sheets. How come? I give you the population data. You don't want to combine it in total. You want to combine it by region. SUMIF is the tool to help us, so I'm going to walk you through that process, and you'll take it from there. The data you're going to be using is the U.S. population, and you have this spreadsheet available on Blackboard. States, populations. The problem is I got 7 different years of population. We only need 1. So first thing, let's clean the data. Let's get rid of the data I don't need. I do want the states. I do want, let's say, 2016. But 2010 through 2015, I don't need. I highlight up top, right-click, and delete. You might notice, by the way, everything I'm doing here this is Microsoft Excel. In Google Sheets, the process is virtually similar. Any specific questions, you can reach out to me, and hopefully we can address that. I've cleaned the data. I have states. I have population. I'm just about ready to use SUMIF, but I'm missing the regions because that's what SUMIF is. It says combine all the southern states, combine all the northeast, combine all the Pacific, etc., etc. So I need the regions. We've done this before. You click here, right-click, and insert, and then I can type a region here, and I can go down the line and just add the regions in. Or if you do have it on another spreadsheet, you can copy. So we've done this process before. You have to type in 50 times. It takes a little bit of work, but you know you can handle this. It's not the end of the world type of task here. So I'm just going to get started on a couple here. I think that's good enough. ... means you get the idea from there. So Alabama is a southern state, and here's the population. Another southern state is Arkansas. Here's its population. Let's go over here and use that SUMIF to see, can we combine just the southern states and just the mountain, just the Pacific, all that sort of thing. Okay. When we're using SUMIF, we need to make a little table. So I'm going to give the titles for the table: the region, and the population, because those are the 2 things that we're trying to look at. And I'm going to give it a little color here. So the region and the population. What are the regions I'm looking at? The southern states. I'm looking at the mountain states. I'm looking at the Pacific states. ... Because there's going to be some others: Midwest, Northeast, all that sort of thing. Population. Now we got to use the formula. How do you start a formula in Excel? How do you start it in Google Sheets? Always start with the equal sign. Let's go for SUMIF. I start to type SUMIF, and you see it pops up here. And there's a SUMIF. Don't worry about that. Double-click SUMIF. There are 3 things I need to type in. The first thing is a range. Range is a fancy way to say, where do my regions live in my data? So I go over my data. I say, well, those are states. Those are population. My regions live in Part B. So I click Part B, and it highlights everything there. Comma. Criteria. Criteria is a fancy way to say, what are you trying to look at? I'm trying to look at the southern states. So I click right here. Comma, sum range. Well, what am I trying to add up? I'm trying to add up the population. So I click Part C because I'm looking at just the populations. And close the parenthesis. Those are the 3 things. I'm looking at the regions, specifically the southern one, and I'm trying to add up the population. Hit enter, and it gives me this answer. And if you want to take out your pocket calculator and say south is equal to this, another southern state is here. If you add up those 2 numbers, you would get the same number I have here. All right, let's try it one more time. Equals SUMIF, there it is, double click. Range. Range is a fancy way to say, give me the region. So I click Part B, comma. Criteria. Criteria is a fancy way to say, what am I looking at? I'm looking at mountain states, comma. Sum range. Well, what am I adding up? I'm adding up Part C, population. Close the parenthesis, and I get a number. And of course, as you start to type in more answers here, these numbers will change a little bit, but that's your job. Once again, your job is to put in all these and then do the formulas. Everything should fall into place. I could type the formula one more time, but remember how these things work, that Excel is good with patterns. So if you've done the formula twice, you can go to that little box in the corner, click it, and pull down. Now, I only pull it down one time because these ones obviously, there's nothing there, so the formula will give you an error. And that works in Google Sheets as well. If you get in Google Sheets, I think it's a different color, but you go in the corner, click it, pull it down, and the formula will repeat itself. So what is your job? Your job was to clean the data. I had to get rid of all the extra years. Your job is to add some regions based on your classifications, and your job is to make this chart with all the regions and the SUMIF. And one more time, how does SUMIF work? Equals SUMIF, double click, and give me 3 things. Give me the regions in the data, comma, give me the region I'm looking at, in this case the southern region, and give me the population. So I'm clicking the C here, the very top, because it encompasses all those populations. If you get those 3 parts of the formula together, hit enter, you should get some numbers, and you can, of course, could double check them, but they should seem reasonable. And now you have a little chart of the U.S. population by region. Now, Excel, Google Sheets, it can be tricky with these formulas. If you mix up one thing, things fall apart. If you have questions, please reach out and hopefully we can troubleshoot and get you on the right track.